Hello. What's up, Wop? Overnight? How you guys doing? Charles, what's up, man? What is going on, fellas? Oh, sorry, I was mid farming the daily quest. Samir, how you doing, man? Crowded already, yeah. You should have seen yesterday, Wop. I look over at my game on my other monitor, I look back, and the whole chat was just like all the way down. Everyone popping in. It was cool. Oh boy. Alt account today? I think we might do... maybe. I don't know. I honestly still haven't decided quite yet. I want to talk a little bit about like the balancing program and stuff. And while I'm doing that, I might just play a little bit of Arena, but then perhaps we'll move over. Then we'll move over probably. I also need to get my daily stuff done on this account, so I'll get that out of the way. We'll just play it by ear. I think I need to use a tech champion. Dude, I love how Sentinel, by the way, on this menu, his head's not even, like, you can't even see it. Well, yeah, it would be gone, reduced to atoms. But I like the ashes. I did think about it. Tags are listed for the next year already? That's crazy. Kabam scared to upset spenders anymore before the big sales. Honestly, yeah, that kind of makes sense. There's like a lot of like different things. Like, man. I don't really know how, like, there's so much to break down, right? Sentinel's just a little camera shy. That's a good way of putting it. Or the game is not strong enough to contain his power. Man, I have such like a spider web of cords on my desk. I have a serious like cable management problem, you guys. Dave, what's up? Wolverine, you too, man. Yeah, RIP the rebalance system. I kind of want to go through the forum post and read it on stream and maybe give my thoughts. I'll just wait a little bit though. Probably when we're done with this solo raid. Good news is Carolina lives. Maybe. Maybe. Because they didn't shut the door on changing champions. That's the thing that I think is weird. Like, it largely feels like it's all going to be the same. But maybe not. I don't know. Like, that's why I said I kind of want to read the post again on stream and, like, kind of break it down. So we can kind of get a better idea together. Because I did notice, I only read it over, like, really quick today, that there are some things that are maybe a little bit cause for pause. Go do another Abyss Path? Nice. Well, best of luck on your endeavor there. You could always go take a run at the Necropolis. You've got the roster for it. Dark Phoenix killed it. I don't know that, like, Dark Phoenix was... I don't think Dark Phoenix necessarily killed it. I just think that they just made too many errors in the system, like, too early on. And they now can't fix it without being, like, the bad guy. It's kind of complicated. Like, I personally, like, I think Dark Phoenix is really good. I don't think that's, like, the real cause, though. I definitely think it might be like a way that they're using to like circumvent having to make the decision whether to nerf or buff champions, namely Dark Phoenix. Yeah, we are talking about that right now, Travis. Like, I think they, like, if they didn't have any of the Spider-Woman controversy, if they didn't run the contest into the ground this last year, as far as, like, just poor server management, the content not being the best, then I think they would be fine if they had to nerf Dark Phoenix a little. It's just they have built so much, like, negative momentum that I think they back themselves into a corner on Dark Phoenix specifically. The chip damage, yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Dark Phoenix doesn't usually bother me. I know that's a hot take, but Count Nefaria generally does pretty okay on that matchup. But if you're like a whale, like at the high levels, maybe maybe it's a little more bothersome. I don't know. Also, look at that incinerate damage, guys. Holy moly. Okay, we'll get the form up here shortly, and then we'll read it. I mean, there's been champions with unavoidable damage in the past. That's why I feel like some of the Dark Phoenix, like, hatred is maybe a little overblown. Because, like, we've had, like, Magic with her Limbo. We've had Electro, and I mean, that's kind of avoidable, but you could make the same argument for Dark Phoenix's damage. Like, Iceman is a champion in the game. Technically, you can avoid Nova damage. WAP was first again. Yeah, the battle of the mods is a little bit one-sided lately, Spidey. Okay, Sentinel handled that fairly quick. Okay, so let's go read exactly what it is. And we can kind of go over it, and maybe some of you guys misunderstood some things, and we can kind of clarify a few things. All right. Let's read it from the Kabam's mouth themselves. I don't know if you guys can read that. I hope. Well, that's probably really small. Let me see. Can I zoom in on Discord? Does that work? No. Let me, hold on, guys. Hold up a Rama. Let me try and make it so I can get that bigger for you guys. Where do I even change the font on Discord? You know what? I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can just read it aloud too if you guys have trouble reading it. Some of you on mobile, I'm sorry, but that's okay. All right, so greetings, summoners. Following our previous balance update with the announcement of changes to Spider-Woman, the team has taken time to meaningfully review your feedback and has since had many discussions regarding where the rebalance program currently lives and how to best approach champion balance moving forward. Okay, so they're still going over all this stuff they talked about earlier, I guess, and that's led to these changes that they're making. Which is kind of weird, because, like, didn't they make the post where they were kind of talking about, like, we reevaluated how the balancing thing, like, the balancing program is, and we've made changes to make it, like, be better, basically? It's kind of weird that now they're just like, actually, that's a lie. We're just going to delete it altogether. You know? Nobody should have unavoidable damage. I agree. I mean, no one should turn off dexterity or willpower either, in my opinion. But anyway, let's continue. After careful consideration, we've made the decision to bring the current rebalance program to a close. When the rebalance program first launched, Marvel Contest of Champions was in a very different place than it is today. The game has evolved tremendously since then, and the program no longer aligns with our current needs. Was it though? Like, how different was the champion like release kind of stuff? Is that even like really that true? Because like, let's see, didn't it launch? They kind of launched the rebalance program so they wouldn't have another like insane champion like Hercules that got released, right? Wasn't that kind of the original goal of it, or am I misremembering? It was just so they could. Yeah, I don't know how the game would have changed. I feel like they still release champions at the same cadence that they always have. So I don't know that that post is, or that sentence is necessarily hitting the nail on the head. So like, I don't like, what has necessarily changed? This is my question. What has changed about the way that champions are released that makes it so there's no more need for a balance program? Does that make sense? Like, I don't really know what the like mental gymnastics there are, you know? Anyway, let's continue. You'll still see the upcoming batch update with Falcon, Joaquin Torres, Toad, Spider-Woman, and Deathless Vision, but there will be no additional changes through the rebalance program nor any ongoing monthly updates. As always, reserve the right to adjust champions if they're critically impacting game health. So, dude, that drives me insane. So, what you're basically telling me here is that, like, it by name the balancing thing is gone, but like in practice it's still there. Am I, you know, like they're like, yeah, well, it's gone. We're not doing it anymore, but we do reserve the right to adjust champions if they're critically impacting game health. And that's probably just like legalese, honestly. I bet they put that there because in the future, people would hold them accountable if they did make a change. They'd be like, you were never going to do this, you know? But then this also begs the question, right? What is critically impacting game health? Because I can make a very strong argument that the Serpent critically impacted game health and still does to this day. You know, like, why do they suck at making these statements? I feel like so far, by the way, this is just like a big like overcorrection, you know? All defenders have a few counters these days. I agree. I agree. Yo, Cosmic, welcome in, man. That said, our balance philosophy will return to its pre-program roots. Thoughtful, targeted interventions, and bug fixes when truly necessary. But like, isn't that, I still don't like it. I still don't like, I think the balance program is an inherently good thing. Am I alone in thinking that? I just think their execution is bad. I think the balance program is great. I think it's great to reevaluate champions so that they can be, you know, maybe tuned up if they're like not selling, basically, or maybe tuned down if they're breaking the game. I feel like you have to take a step back and reevaluate champion releases. I just think that is just a good thing. I just think they were doing it horribly. And then let's see, pre-program routes. So like if they actually are true to this, by the way, there will be like no champions ever changed. And any change that is made is going to be probably a negative one for a champion. Just like Mole Man. Like, if it's a bug that benefits the champion, it's gone. And if it makes, it's I don't think that's good. I don't think the pre-balance review program, I don't think it's the play. I don't think returning back to there is maybe the best decision. To clarify, this does not mean champions won't be buffed moving forward. We love tuning and reworking champions to give them stronger places in the meta, and we have many of those on the horizon. This only pertains to the current 6-month review period, strictly pertaining to new champion releases. So champions will get buffed. I mean, I'm assuming what they mean by buffs here, it's like... It's like related to kind of how they did for the Rebirth event, where they buffed all those champions. So I don't know what that means. Like at the end, this only pertains to the current 6-month review period, strictly pertaining to new champion releases. So does that mean we're only going to see new champions get... I'm confused at the wording of this statement. Is anybody else a little bit confused? If you bought a champ and they weren't so expensive like Dark Phoenix, you wouldn't be bothered by a nerf? Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment, Dave. I personally think like a lot of this could just be remedied with like, if we're going to nerf a champion, we're just going to give you a rank down ticket. I know that's not going to make it okay for everyone, especially if they're selling a champ for $1,000, but I think for the layman, that might be enough. Widow, what's up? I saw you earlier. I see that your binging has been. Hope that's going well, dude. Looking ahead, we'll be exploring several different systems to maintain a healthy meta and game experience, and to find something that best suits the community. Hopefully some of this they share tomorrow, by the way. They have a live stream tomorrow. Hopefully we get to see some of these systems, because I think a statement like this is just like empty. What does that really mean? You know what I mean? We need to see that actions are actually being taken, and we need to see that soon. I think if people are just kind of in this awkward state of limbo, you're still stating that you're willing to nerf a champ if they're critically impacting game health, which is an entirely just undefined thing. Because you can say a champion is critically impacting game health, like with any champion, if you really wanted to get all wordy with it. So I mean, this just the fact that the balance program is gone shouldn't stop anybody from worrying that their favorite champion is going to get nerfed. So I think they need to release whatever these systems are that maintain a healthy meta and game experience. And to be honest, I really don't even know what you could do other than just like letting you ban more characters, or like it's just like the nature of power creep. And truthfully, I don't know how they can really fix the problem that they've created for themselves. It feels like they let things get a little bit too out of hand. Spidey, I watched a little bit of it before I started streaming, and it was going about exactly how I thought it would. Okay, let me continue. We want to ensure that players feel that their time and investments are fully respected, while also giving us tools to address major pain points swiftly and fairly. Unrelated, you want to make sure that my time and investments are fully respected. Give me a help all button. For the love of literally everything on the planet, let me click one button and request help for all of my champions. Oh my gosh, please. Anyway. We want to ensure that players feel that their time and investments are fully respected, while also giving us tools to address major pain points swiftly and fairly. So, like, what do they mean? What are they talking about when they're talking about pain points? Are they just talking about champions that are OP? Like, that they made too strong and then refused to change? There's like some weird... This feels like a really spiderwebby, like weirdly worded post to me. Maybe I'm just having a really hard time like understanding certain things in it. I'm not sure though. We plan to share more details in the coming months. That's not good enough. Like, we need more details as soon as you possibly can. Like, there's still so many people with just uncertainty. We'll be communicating any new approach well in advance before anything impacts future champions. I mean, I think that's good. If they had like plans to nerf a champion, I think you should let the community know that as soon as you can. Like for Spider-Woman, like for instance there, right? I think it would have been more than fair to have seen a post a week or even a few weeks early saying our data is indicating the Spider-Woman is incredibly strong on defense, more than we intended. We just want to give you guys a heads up. There is a 80% chance that there will be a change coming to her kit in the future. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that would go. That would probably knock their sales down a little bit, but it would definitely grow, like, community trust, you know? They're trying to be as vague as possible so they can twist their own words. Yeah, no, this is definitely feels like lawyer speak. I completely agree. And I get that you have to do that. You can't just be like, you can't just level with them and be like, look, it sucks. We just need to start over. And we realize that we've made a lot of mistakes and we don't know how to fix them. Because I don't think they do. I don't think there's anything in that statement that really gives me pause for concern. Like, I still am in the same place I was, where I'm like, well, crap, like, this champion I like could still get nerfed. 400, yeah, let's see the emojis. Those, the emoji reactions are my favorite. Kabam posts, you can always gauge before you read a Kabam post, by the way, how good it actually is based on the emojis. 493 skulls is bad. We got 60 tomatoes. I don't know what that means. We have 22 Santas. Yeah, they're just overwhelmingly like negative. It's really bad. It's just I'm having a hard time putting my thoughts into words. I just have like I have a lot of things kind of like circulating, you know? I think, like, I've been kind of like sitting on this all day because I still don't quite know. I can't quite put my finger on how I really do feel. You know, like, on one hand, I think it's good to get rid of it. It was obviously not working, and it was, like, obviously, you know, not the play. But on the other hand, like, it did do some things right. And it was nice to have that comfort feeling of knowing that okay, my champion made it past the balancing time period. Now they've just opened that door wide open to like, hey, if we feel like any champion is critically affecting the game, we can change them at any time. And I guess they could always do that, but they were still like somewhat bound, I felt like, by the fact that there was like a balancing passover. You fear for the amount of hate Mike will get on the live stream? Yeah, that chat might go a little bit berserk. The power lock in Battlegrounds really drives me crazy too. It messes up a lot of rotations that you wouldn't really expect. But then, yeah, there's also like intending to combo with the special and then it gets locked in that split second. Hey, good luck, Samir. I believe in you. Mysterio does suck, Widow. I think there's so... It feels like a miss to me. And it feels really childish and kind of like a cop-out that they don't want to fix Dark Phoenix and they don't want to even think about touching like Nico or Carolina. There's just like... that it feels like kind of like a little bit cowardly. Kind of like, okay, well, here's this problem. Let's just bury our head in the sand. You know? I think the community needs some positivity, like some good PR stuff in that right now, and I don't think that quite hit the mark. Too many people complaining, stud. I think that's probably true. That's like the MCOC community in a nutshell, though. Like, that's another thing, right? Like, people online like to think that just because the online community is, like, vocal and saying things one way, that's, like, the popular belief of everybody. That's not really how it is. I think, like, a large portion of the player base is on Reddit or, like, social media. But I doubt their metrics indicate that, you know? That's why there's, like, certain changes to some champions and different changes to others. I am a fifth of the way there, Dave. Fifth of the way there. Which is, like, on pace-ish. But I just wanted to play some Arena for a little bit tonight. I've been neglecting Arena on the main, and I don't want to, like, stop getting units altogether. You still need to do it? Yeah, good luck, man. I finally got to Vibranium, though. So I'm starting to get closer and closer to the big dogs. Yeah, it's a lot of Battlegrounds, Dave. I mean, we have a lot of time to do it. It's still like 20 days. So it's not the worst thing ever. They make weak champions, people mad. They make powerful champions, people complain. Yeah, stud, I agree. Like, I have given this point multiple times on stream. And I'll do it again. You can't make every champion great. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not feasible. You just can't do that. You can't make every old champion great. That's just not the way to run a game. Like, it's just a natural thing. There's going to be champions that are more like duds, and there's going to be champions that are more like studs. You know, that's just game design. If you go play any first-person shooter, there's always going to be a gun that is just, like, hilariously bad. And that's okay. And, like, sometimes they'll get buffed, and they'll be mediocre, or even the meta. Like, power levels can be different. That's not a bad thing. Powerful champions are only problematic when behind a huge paywall. I think that is probably a more accurate statement, and that's kind of like what I was saying, that like I don't know that it's necessarily like the balancing team's fault. Like, I don't think that was making everything bad. I think everything else Kabam was doing was making it bad. Because if you're gonna paywall a champion like that hard, with like no indication of when the regular player base is gonna get them, you've locked yourself in. You can't touch that champion. You can't do it. Not without getting an insane amount of backlash, and that's the price you pay for making that kind of a greedy business practice. Heck yeah, Walrus, thank you, man. And they've painted themselves into a corner. And then you add all that other controversial stuff on top of it, that we would have gotten over the Spider-Woman nerf. Once that made it into people's hands and people realized it actually wasn't the worst thing on the planet Earth, it would have been fine. But they were still riding the negativity from it. And then Dark Phoenix Reval comes around, Carolina comes around, and Nico comes around. All three incredibly strong champions, and you can definitely make an argument that all three of them should be changed in some way. I don't know that I would necessarily agree with that take, but you can make an argument for it. And then it's just like, well, crap, I guess we just don't make a decision which is not always better than making a decision and having it be wrong. Like, it's kind of like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And they should have seen this coming down the pipeline. The second they decided to pull that bullcrap Dark Phoenix. The Spider-Woman change is good. I would agree with that. And that's another thing too. If we didn't have to wait like until January to get that, it would have been in players' hands much faster, and then the community sentiment would have been fine. People would have realized, hey, she's actually still really strong, and I'm getting mad over nothing. So that's annoying. That's another thing where they just like shot themselves in the foot. I really feel like those rebalances are probably ready to go. I don't know why they felt like they needed to wait to release them in a giant batch. That makes no sense to me. Like, I don't understand. That's another thing, right? Like, if maybe they didn't drag their feet like they were, then it could have been a lot easier to get past. But since they decide to make a big deal out of it, it just gets to sit there and like simmer in the public consciousness until January, and people are going to be bitter about it until then, because people on the internet overreact all the time. I mean, I'm maybe overreacting right now, but like, it's just gonna really compound on itself and be negative, man. And I've said it a lot too. Like, balancing a game like this is so difficult. It's been around for 10 plus years. The power creep has really hit hard, especially ever since Serpent. It's a tough game to manage. It really is. That's like, I think they need the balancing program just for that alone, honestly. Yeah, I think pulling the plug. Yeah, Walrus. It just feels like kind of a cop-out. Spider-Woman nerf stuff is mostly community complaining. I think the nerf is fine. I agree. Give everyone a 7-star Archangel. No, I think man, there's a lot of things I think they need to do with this game. I mean, I have a whole list. I've thought about making a video before, but it would just be too long, and I'm gonna be honest, I really don't like ranting that much. It's just, I can only be so negative about things. I mean, it's easy here, like, to sit here in my computer chair and, like, complain. Speaking of Archangel, by the way, Dean Gray just got absolutely bodied. Deathless Vision gonna be better than Thanos? Dude, maybe. Whoa, caveman. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, caveman. You can't come in here without a pun first. You know that. You have set yourself up for that. But also welcome in. I did hear that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, Javier. Negativity videos grab the clicks. No, that is actually true. That is true. I like to think I'm like a little bit more of a like level-headed MCOC content creator than most, you know, but that does farm views. I mean, there's the reason that the mainstream media, like news, is generally negative with anything they cover. It's because more people are receptive to it. It goes more viral. Stuff like that. How are they going to nerf them but not nerf Enchantress and Serpent? Make it make sense. And that, yeah. See, that's the thing, right? Like, and this has been my stance on the balancing team this entire time, is that I would have no problem with them nerfing any champion they wanted to, as long as there was like a consistent standard that they have set. Now, they tried to set that standard by justifying the Spider-Woman nerf with their website and like her power level rating as a defender, But if you look at that website for like 5 minutes, you know that that's total garbage. Serpent is a 3 out of 5 on utility, even though he does almost everything in the game, which is ludicrous. They just don't have a standard that they follow. And that's been the biggest problem for me. I think the balanced program is an inherently good thing. I think it is a good thing to reevaluate our work once we are done with it. If I'm finishing editing a video to upload, which, sorry, I haven't had a lot of time to upload any videos recently, but beside the point, I will rewatch the video to see if I think it's good or to see if there's things I forgot to include or would like to include. I think it's a good thing, and it results in a better product most of the time to reevaluate the kind of work that you put out. And I think champions are no different. It gets a little trickier, however, because people pay for these champions. That's why I think there needs to be some sort of restitution if a nerf does happen, if a champion does get changed. I think the bouncing program needs to be more rigorous. I think there's so many different things that they needed to do for it. And I think it could be really good. They just wanted to take the path of least resistance. And it's a little bit of a cop-out. And they just didn't want to own up to the fact that, yeah, we actually kind of missed the boat this year. We made a lot of really OP champions. And, dude, it's going to hurt our bottom line if we nerf them. Even though you guys want us to nerf them. And we can't own up to it, so we're just going to delete the program that would be responsible for it in the first place. Oh, there we go, caveman. You're back. Keeping tropical fish can be calming and relaxing thanks to all the endorphins. Thank you. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Very creative. So yeah, it's like there's so many thoughts I have. I wish like I could see behind the curtain, because I genuinely do wonder, what was the rebalance program? Was it just like one guy and he would just flip a coin? Like what are they actually going by? Do they have like an AI that will analyze the data and then it's not even led by a person that plays the game? Is that how these decisions just make no sense this consistently? Like, I just don't get it, man. Deathel Sanos and Domino. I don't think Domino needs a nerf. I don't know that Onslaught does either. I think you could maybe, if you were going to change Onslaught at all, you could maybe like reduce his health a little bit. I feel like he's a little too chonky. But that leads me into another thing, and I've talked about this before too. How do you justify like a nerf and a buff with just Battlegrounds data? Because Battlegrounds champions are all affected by nodes. If you were to look right now at the Battlegrounds data, you would think, holy F, Zemo needs a nerf, he's insane. Jabari needs a nerf, she's insane. Chioth needs a nerf, she's insane. Moleman needs a nerf, he's insane. Because they are vastly overperforming their offensive capabilities. But you can't judge a champion based on that at all. And they're evaluating these new champions largely with Battlegrounds data, I guarantee it. I highly doubt they're looking a lot about story content. Probably not too much at Arena. I bet they're only really focusing Battlegrounds because that's kind of where their money is made these days. That's why people really chase champions, is so they can dominate in Battlegrounds. I think if this game, like, truthfully, I think if it stayed to story content, stuff like that, people would care so little about champion balancing. But since you bring a PvP aspect into the game, it muddies everything. Champion balancing is more difficult to do, because then you're balancing for a player versus player experience, where this is also a PvE experience, and you can't have two different things for two different modes. It makes it a lot more difficult to have parity. I think that makes champion balancing insanely difficult. So like that's another thing, right? Is like, how do you balance for both game modes when they're both different? You know? Baron Zemo somehow one-shot you? You don't know if you ran into a hacker? If you put Baron Zemo... if he took him into off, like Baron Zemo goes really fast. If you're, I don't like if you were fighting a Zemo and he killed you in one hit, that seems unlikely. But Zemo can finish fights in like sub 20 seconds in victory track right now. Yeah, skill gap is a thing for sure. For sure. But I honestly think, guys, and like I think Battlegrounds was great. I do. But I think maybe the introduction of it... I don't think Kabam really had the infrastructure put in place to design around it. Samael, what's up? Welcome in. And that's kind of like the fruits that we're seeing now. Like, people want Dark Phoenix nerfed because they're sick of fighting her on defense. I think if you just had to fight a Dark Phoenix in story mode, like one time, who cares? Right? That's interesting. I didn't know hackers could do that, Javier. You demand elaboration. Well, the balancing program where Kabam would reevaluate champions in batches as they were released, like months down the line, has been obliterated. If you want to read the official Kabam post, it's probably on their forums by now. Definitely on Reddit. And I did post it in the MCOC general chat in my Discord as well. So you can go check it out there. Which is in the video description, by the way, if you guys are interested in joining that. So yeah, I just think... I think it's tough, man. And honestly, I've never really thought too hard about that Battlegrounds analogy until just recently. It's so weird. A lot of times I just need to rant and like talk my way through these things before I form like what I would consider my final opinion. And that's why I wanted to talk about this tonight. I still didn't quite know where I landed on it. And I think I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I think we need the balancing program. But there are other extenuating circumstances in the game that make it almost impossible. 14-6, huh, Warlock? Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's not 50 to 12 or whatever. Yet. Because, like, dude, if we're on the subject of unavoidable damage, why don't people like clamor for Kindred to get deleted? I mean, very few champions can deal with degeneration. And you're bound to take a little bit, at least. Just so many things, man. So many things. Dude, I'm going to be able to add Frankencastle to the roster, by the way, once we hit these arena milestones coming up. That's going to be hype. Got my boy Yondu, which, by the way, I did go and test him. Anyone who's not in the Discord. Yondu's kind of cracked, man. Kind of cracked. Yeah, it's like... There's champions that are definitely really good, but they just don't draw the attention from the mainstream community, so they don't get talked about. That being said, Count Nefaria is my go-to for Kindred. Dude's a beast. No, okay, man, I don't think that's the solution. I don't think we should ever test champions before we push them to a live game. I think I think that's a bad move. Like most games? No, dude, games don't test anything now. They click generate with AI and they push it to live. I'm not saying MCOC does that, but they definitely need more rigorous testing. I genuinely think, dude, like, if they just would give champions to content creators early, let them test things behind the scenes, they could maybe figure it out. Have I used Yondu against Onslaught? I have not. I have not. You did say you would rather they kill the balance program altogether. My opinion before this statement was made, I don't want the balance program to go away, but I think the staff that were a part of it, I think they just needed to be gutted, and I think it needed to be rebuilt. So, like, this could potentially pave the way for that. But it sounds like they're just putting, like, the effort entirely on the back burner. Because I think it's a good thing. I think some champions do get a little bit out of hand. I think the people that create champions maybe get a little bit too... what's the word? Proud of their own creation. And they want to make them better and be the best they can be. And sometimes they take things a little bit too far. And I think it's good to have a process that can reel that back in. But I think if I were to retool it, you know, like strip it down, I think it would more just be testing the champion before they go to live. And then if they do go to live and there's an issue, fixing the problem right away. I think it's insane that people have to wait in limbo of like, will they, won't they change this thing or that thing? I think it's a serious problem. 6.3 done already. Nice, Samir. They need to be fired? Yeah. I think, like, you clearly didn't have the personnel doing their job. Or not doing it tactfully, or, you know. I think, like, whenever you're doing something like that that involves money, like, people have spent money for these things, then you need to be very careful about how you approach it. Like I was saying earlier, if the Spider-Woman change was live today, people would forget about it so quickly. I guarantee it. But the fact that people have to wait until January, I think everyone is like still in overreact mode. And that's how it is with a lot of champions. And then you also feel bad for the champions that are getting buffs, right? We're focusing on Spider-Woman, but like Falcon has been considered, I don't agree with it, but he's been considered useless since his release. And people that pulled him don't get any sort of satisfaction from owning him until January. Like, it's kind of insane. Might be a bit conspiracy theory-y. Hey, that Samael, just for the record for everybody, this guy loves conspiracy theories, okay? Just saying. That's always an open topic in the chat. Most of the time. Use judgment, obviously. You're 90% sure this is because of DLL. This announcement coming 1 month before Carolina and Nico were scheduled to be on the chopping block can't be a coincidence. I think that, like, could be part of it. I think that could be part of it. I think they just finally reached the tipping point and they didn't know how to manage the PR around making changes to champions they felt like they needed to change. So they felt like the best option was to make no change at all and then put their heads in the sand and just pretend that, just be like, balancing program is not real anymore. There is no champion balancing in Ba Sing Se. Which is really unfortunate. I think it had good potential. I really do. I think it is good. But they just fumbled the ball, man. That what they should have done, and I don't think we would be here today if they did this, when the balancing time for Serpent came out and they chose not to change him at all, they should have changed him. There was way too much community sentiment around, like, how insane he was. He needed some sort of tweak to his kit. He was way too busted at the time. And I think that started the expectation. That set the bar up here. So people are expecting, like, it doesn't matter how busted a champ is, they're just not going to get changed. And then they changed Spider-Woman, and it's like, what the heck is going on now? You've set this standard, and you can't hold to it. They just set themselves up for failure. I think Serpent, literally, I think Serpent was the beginning of it all, personally. They're going to end up like the company who ruined Pixel Gun 3D. Maybe. I don't know much about the Pixel Gun 3D lore. That sounds interesting, though. People are just farming the Battlegrounds event, Widow. And some people just don't want to play, because you still get points for completing a match. Basically blame the program itself. Rather brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, you can't take any responsibility if you just blame the program, right? No, I'm a Dolphins fan, so you hate to ask. Who do you think is winning, the Bills or Chiefs? I think the Chiefs, probably. I mean, I'm not... No hatred for... like... For the record, I hate the Chiefs probably more than I hate the Bills. But I do think that the Chiefs win that one. I think the Bills are a little banged up on defense. And I think the Chiefs are pretty healthy on offense now, so... So you're playing the game for no reason? Not no reason. If you win, you'll finish the event much faster. They ruined Pixel Gun for not balancing the new guns, like how Kabam is not balancing the defenders. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, similar to that. I think, like, depending, like, this is what is so tricky. They just gave us vagaries. Like, we don't really know exactly what kind of changes they're going to make. They just said we're looking at other ways of making this game more player friendly and stuff. And they gave us no examples. If they don't give us any tomorrow, that does not bode well for the game. At all. It just doesn't. Because, dude, if we don't have any way to really balance champions, like, if the balancing program is gone, dude, your game is going to get power crept to heck and back way faster than it was before, I feel like. But again, like I said, you could make that argument that's how it was before, because they refused to nerf Serpent, and that's why I think it was the Nexus event. The Bills offense might carry over the edge. We've not seen Josh throw a deep ball since 2023. Yeah, he actually hasn't been on the deep ball a lot. And then, also, I think the Chiefs kind of have had the Bills' number. I mean, they generally play them close. But I think at this point, like, the Chiefs can kind of contain Josh Allen. Power creep is the balancing program. It is the Senate. Only gonna hear a sob story tomorrow, and Kabam loves you, and Kabam hears you, blah, blah, blah. I am interested for the stream tomorrow. They're definitely announcing the new champions. I would hope they'll talk more about, like, unranked and ranked battlegrounds, which I think they probably will. They may bring back up their program that they said they were going to test / implement down the line, where you could have a pool of champions that are banned from Gladiator Circuit for each season. They could expand upon that, which I think would be a good thing. And then I honestly don't know if they'd even announced the disbanding of it. Maybe. I don't think they would want to set, like, make things worse than they already are. Yeah, that's bad, Javier. It kills me. I don't know why some games do that, man. I think the big problem is I think so many big companies are driven by metrics and like numbers. And like stockholders that just don't play games like this, they only make decisions based off of numbers. Like, they saw in their data somewhere Spider-Woman was costing them too much money somehow. Serpent was making them stupid amounts of money because he was just broken, so he didn't get the change that he needed. That's just how the game is played, unfortunately. Like, any big company, too, like Call of Duty as well, is like a huge culprit for this. Just a bunch of corporate suits that throw skins up for like 80 bucks and they don't care. If their metrics are telling them they're making a lot of money, just make sure the store works and we're good. Yeah, it could be a close game, Spidey. Should you finish Elder? Yeah, go for it, Widow. Hell, yeah, they will announce a sale, probably. And then they will probably either tease... They'll probably tease the banquet event a little bit. I don't know that they'll do a full reveal. I wouldn't expect that. Maybe. Well, they'll either tease or full announce. They'll definitely say something about it to try to, like, get everybody hyped. Maybe get people to forget about any sort of negative PR. If they power creep and continue to buff old characters and make them just as strong, it could be alright. I don't know, man. It's difficult. Like, when you talk about buffing old characters, it's... yeah, I don't know. COD Mobile, you have to spend like 1,000 to get a mythic gun skin and legendary and mythical operator skins. Yeah, mobile games are crazy, man. I think they were like... I'm a little bit annoyed. It felt like mobile games were kind of the last bastion for like $2 microtransactions. And then the Diablo Immortal, I think, came around and it was like, give us thousands of dollars, and people were doing it. So then other mobile games were like, dude, we can actually charge crazy prices. RP, come back to us. You're living on an alternate universe. We miss you here. Your message got through. Is there a live stream tomorrow? I don't... well, Kabam, there is, yes. Kabam has a live stream tomorrow. As far as myself, by the way, I don't think I'll have time to live stream tomorrow. Got some stuff going on with the Familia in the evening time. That would probably bleed into streaming time. So, just big announcement. Don't expect me live tomorrow. I will make sure to tweet that out and I'll send something on Discord as well. There's like a small chance. I'm thinking about it. If I have time, I may want to go live after Kabam's live stream and maybe give my thoughts on what happened in there, but that's going to be fully dependent on if I have time for that or not. Happens with every free game. They have to make money on microtransactions. Yeah, it's hard to run a free-to-play game. Holy crap, Roblox has that kind of an expensive cosmetic? That's wild. Whoa. Whoa, that's so serious for us. Well, it was good while it lasted, I guess. Oh, I forgot she's untouchable. Whoopsie daisy. You know what Kabam should just do? They should announce 8 stars and then give all of us like 5, 8 stars. That's what we need, chat. Distract us with shiny object. That's the move right there. You're gonna be partying? That's kind of what I'm banking on, Warlock. I think a lot of people will. Myself included, so... Now GTA 6 is gonna cost a hundo. Is that official? I don't think that is. I don't think that is. Maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you suck. Whoa, that hit me. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You take it back? I'm glad to have you back, Walrus. Glad to have you back. Anyway, though, guys, anyone have any super awesome Halloween costumes? Now that I think we've probably said maybe all there is to be said about the balancing program. I'm sure we'll talk about it a few other times tonight, but any sick costumes? I, for one, am not dressing up as anything. I've always been kind of anti-costume dressing up. I've just never been a huge enjoyer of that. You hate Halloween? Yeah, Samir, same. I mean, I like holidays and spending time with family and having good times. And like, you know, any sort of reason to have a gathering where there's food and stuff, I enjoy. But as far as like dressing up or like trick-or-treating and all that stuff, I've never really been a huge fan. Oh, wait, it's even more money than you initially said. That's even crazier. Ghostface? Yes, I think you told me that. That'd be spooky. Don't go around actually committing murders, though. Should go without saying. Wearing an inflatable crawfish? What? Is there like a lore reason for that, Walrus, or you just thought it would be cool? That's not exactly a costume you hear about every day. I'm actually dressed up currently as the Kabam balancing program. Widow, whoa. Dude, I know the mind is a dark place sometimes for you, but don't go there. I'd like to see you on my live streams a little, you know? I don't want you in prison. Come on, Incinerate, you can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Your wife bought it for you. It's a whole suit. Dude, that sounds kind of epic. When I was a kid, I never had any of those inflatable costumes. And I was always so jealous of everybody else that did have those. Like, the ones that would make you look like you're riding a bull. Or like that you're like getting a piggyback ride or something. Those are so awesome looking. Yo, what's up, Zemo? The only thing that would stop you would be if you were... No, that would be like a reward for you. That wouldn't happen. Oh man, Samir. Oh, you hate Halloween. Yeah, no, I made a comment about that. Continue your story of jealousy and murder. What the heck? RP is speaking nonsense now. I don't see a message after that other than read last, Samir. So I don't know if you didn't send it or... Unless... Yeah, no, I don't see anything other than that one. 21-6 or 21-6? Hey man, they're not at 50 yet. I'll take it. I will take it. There's still hope. I want them to lose though. Give me a better draft pick, please. Strange, it definitely has sent. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm looking right at the chat right now. Of course, you get the error mid BG fight. Dude, that's the worst. Alright, here's an idea. Like, let me... Guys, tell me what you think. Scrap the balance crap. Well, okay, not crap, because I do actually kind of need it or want it in some capacity. If we're going to scrap it, they should have also included a post like, but... We're going to take the resources we would initially have put in there, and we're going to put it into bug fixing and quality assurance testing. That's what they should have done, man. I did not talk about anybody wearing an inflatable sausage. But yeah. You deleted the message. Halloween slander will not be tolerated. I did in fact say hi. Welcome back. Convinced they're intentional? Dude, maybe. It could have been auto-moderated, Samir. Or maybe Spidey timed you out. Just kidding, I don't think so. You just sent that again and you didn't see it come up on the screen? It might be getting auto-moderated. I mean, usually YouTube chat will like show me when that happens. But I don't see anything like in the chat feed that would indicate that there's a message getting deleted there. The resources from the Bounce program have already been allocated to the title and profile picture team. As they should be. I mean, that really carries the game. That's where they make most of their money. Profile pictures for sure. No, you know what I should do? And I actually just had this idea. Kind of based on a little bit of what RP said. I'm going to go as a gaslighter for Christmas. Whenever somebody asks me what I'm dressed up as, I'll just tell them a random costume. And when they say I'm not dressed up as that, I'll be like, yes, I am. What are you talking about? It'll be brilliant. Don't you guys know I'm dressed up as a unicorn right now? Oh no, I'm actually... I just barely left, like, got out of my costume like a minute ago. I'm like, no, you weren't in a costume, you sure? Dude, the Team Hunger picks go pretty hard. I mean, I am Team Hunger profile pick all the way. They are definitely better than the Team Cure. I mean, you're like surrounded by soap bubbles? Come on, man. Is that cool? Not really. Hunger strong, baby. Hunger all the way. Dolphins are about to punt again. Good. Wear my pizza hoodie and say that's my costume. You know what? That's funny you say that. I think I did do that for a Halloween. I actually think that was the move one year. I think I have done that. I need to build up my collection of food hoodies, though. Those are always really fun to wear. You lost by a few seconds? Oh, that's always the worst, man. I always hate that. Like a few, whether it's a few seconds or like a few health points. Dude, you duped your 7-star Red Skull relic? No, that's good, man. You only have 3? I mean, I duped 1 when I only had 2. So I know the feeling. It's good for prestige, though. So try to be a little positive, I guess. You want a hoodie that makes you look like broccoli? That's probably out there. Maybe not the broccoli you're talking about. Or maybe that is the broccoli you're talking about. I'm glad they got it right, by the way, that Superior Iron Man is not a metal champion. Because his suit is like a symbiote, basically. Hey, at least Tua Tagovailoa made a decently large pass to Jalen Waddle at some point. That's good. Man, should we all just watch the football game? Should I just put that in the corner? I would get sued into oblivion, though. The NFL and Amazon would probably murder me. Come to my house and, I don't know, boil my hand as some sort of punishment. How many rank 4s am I rocking these days? Dude, actually, let's see. Is it like 7 or 8? Something like that. I think 7. It used to be 6, and then I got 7. Not 67, just like 6, 7. I think that's where we're sitting. I got Serpent ranked up. I think I have 7. Close to another one, though. Yeah, they do have it on Twitch, yeah. That's what I have it pulled up on my second monitor. I'll tab over and check the score once in a while. I haven't in a while, though, just because I know they're going to lose. You decided on Gene over Nico and Shocker. Hey, those are good. All good champions, and I think Gene is a really good rank 4. I enjoy using my rank 4 Gene, Nick. Oh no, you said the number. I'm glad you got the reference I was going for there, Widow. By the way, that's kind of like the dumbest internet trend in a long time. Wouldn't you guys agree? I don't understand the hype behind it. I just don't. It completely baffles my mind. I don't understand. Yo, it's good, the Big Sheep. I will say, though, it's quite interesting seeing how, like, every generation has their just degenerate catchphrase or just, like, slang. Like, you know, even growing up, I had, like, dope. Like, there's, like, words like that, right? That, like, no one really knows. I mean, dope makes a lot more sense than 6-7, but you get the point, you know? Like, every generation has something like that. You thought it was a 69 joke when you first heard about it? I thought it was like some sort of interpretation on like the joke like 7, 8, 9, and like somehow 6 is made an appearance now. I don't know. But then I found out it was a song lyric, and then it just like blew up out of nowhere. It feels so artificial. I don't know where it came from. Like there's so many other lyrics and songs that are easily memeable, or like that you totally could have just like had catch on more than 6-7 in the cultural zeitgeist of things, but that's all it took. 6-7, man. Crazy. Sheep, same. Generally, though, I pride myself on, you know, knowing at least a fair bit of the slang for any, like, the rising generation at any given point. 6-7. Nobody, literally no one. Like, if you look up the meaning of it, it's, like, acknowledged that people don't really know what it's supposed to mean. It just feels like a nervous tick for people, or like a habit. You just can't break. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have ever done this. You probably have. But there's been a lot of times throughout history that I'll be talking to my friends about something I think is, like, caught on that's really stupid. And then we start saying it unironically, and then we act like just to make fun of it, right? And then we actually just keep saying it because it's just something that for some reason catches on in your brain and you can't stop yourself. I think that is probably where 6-7 is at. Maybe there's a lot of people saying it to like make fun of it, and then they find themselves using it like way more than they should. Did I see what you said about 69? Like, how long ago? I don't think so. I don't see a message from you that mentions that, Simo. It means 6-7. It doesn't mean anything. That's what I'm saying, yeah. You're not old, so you still get a lot of brain rot, but Gen Alpha has some crazy new stuff going on. Nah, they do, bro. Like, we are in a completely new era of brain rot. Like, I feel like generations ago, we'd have slang that was, like, just stupid, and, like, the words were dumb to use, but at least they had, like, some sort of meaning. Brain rot is on a completely different level. Literally nothing is, like... it makes sense. Brain rot is truly built different. I'm so worried for like the generations 5 to 10 years from now that have like grown up with TikTok even more, or like just the online culture even more. It's gonna be scary, dude. It's gonna be scary. I don't see anything. Zemo. The last thing I see is you saying LOL, Nick. We need Call of Duty 360 MLG. See, now that I can subscribe to. We need to bring back MLG, like, edits. With, like, just air horns all over the place. Tons of loud sound effects. Like nacho cheese Doritos, PNGs floating all over the screen. That's what we need to return to as humanity. That was peak right there. That is like the OG brain rot. Mountain Dew. Snoop Dogg dancing on the screen. Oh my gosh, hitting microphones. I have a bad habit of that. I need to get a microphone that's like sensitive enough that I can like not smack it if I want to move my hands. Look at that crit. Too young for MLG, too old for 6-7. It's alright. I mean, there's nothing say you can't watch MLG edits now. No one is stopping you. They're still out there in all their glory. You like Silk? Nice, RP. So does Widow. It's like Widow's basically favorite champ. That and Nico. Widow really likes Nico. Silk your goat. Silk is one of the goats for sure. One of the goats for sure. I will say, like, Silk isn't my favorite champion, but she is, like, pretty up there. She's definitely one of those champions that is on my list of champions that they just feel smooth as butter to play. I was pretty happy that I could use Silk for the Doom boss. Widow has bad taste. Dude, are you and Widow ever gonna agree on a champion, Samir? You think? Or are you guys like doomed to be like arch enemies? Like for the rest of eternity, no matter what, you'll disagree with one another. Definitely silky smooth to play. Yes. Oh, you can agree on things. Just Kushala, though. I mean, that's better than nothing. At least you guys have, like, something that you can kind of have an olive branch around. You've never played Silk? Oh, you definitely gotta give it a try sometime, Samir. Really fun champion. I really enjoyed the playstyle. No, she's overtuned and broken and you hate her. Oh my gosh. What a 180. This coming from a guy who's been grinding through his alt account with Kate Bishop, by the way. Calling another champion overtuned. Comedy, actually. Hey. Exposed. Exposed. Whoa. Widow. Widow, we don't need to, everybody knows that. We don't need to make that public. Kate just has damage. Overtuned damage, yes. But overtuned utility is worse than overtuned damage. You don't, she has pretty good utility as well. I mean, hey, that like marked is kind of clutch. Like cold snap also counters evade. I wouldn't say it's overtuned, but I still think it's kind of cracked. And now, see me, I'm willing to admit I'm using Hercules. I mean, I'm just as much as fault probably. There you go. And I actually don't know how old Silk is. You know what? The Big Sheep, just for reasons, let's just assume she's 21. And then we'll actually evade this conversation. I actually don't know, actually. Widow, stop, dude. I wonder the the canon age for every champion in MCOC. Like, I'm genuinely curious. I don't think we actually know that information. I don't think they say that in any of their bios. You're using Archangel? I wouldn't blame you either. Another champion that's like borderline busted. Winter Soldier only, new account speedrun? Are you talking about like speedrun to getting Winter Soldier or just killing Winter Soldier in Realm of Legends? Two different things. Oh, that's a good point, Caveman. No, that's smart, actually. No, that you raised an excellent point there. Champions do probably age in the battle realm. That's important to think about for these things. Not that we should ever think about these things, but I feel like it's incredibly depraved. Whoa, sheep, that is quite the allegation. Whoa, careful, dude. You're gonna have a lawsuit incoming. Oh my god. Guys, we need to move on to a different topic. It's getting out of hand. I mean, it was out of hand a while ago. Let's talk about our favorite thing to do at the arcade. Our favorite arcade games. Is it the claw machine? Is it like those Dance Dance Revolution machines? Is it that game where the ball drops from a really high place and you try and get a lot of tickets with where you drop it? Based takes, emo. Ooh, or like those arcade ones that you can simulate like a roller coaster. Those are kind of cool. Property damage. Soul Calibur 2? Wait, that's an arcade game? I didn't know that. I mean, I go to arcades like once in a while. The MCOC arcade game is kind of fun. You can get a card with a champion on it. Yeah, let's not, Widow. Classic Pac-Man, dude. I am quite the Pac-Man enjoyer myself. Although, as far as like retro arcade games go, if we're talking about like the games themselves, I don't know if they really even have arcade like booths with it anymore. But I liked playing Dig Dug a lot more than I liked playing Pac-Man. Or like what is it, Galaga? I think Galaga is ridiculously fun. Or like Space Invaders. Arcades aren't too common where you live? Dude, that's a bummer. It's actually pretty fun to you just roll in there. You bring like $100. You're gonna lose everything, but it's kind of fun, man. Because like as a kid, I always wished I could have played at the arcade more, but I didn't have adult money at the time. So it's actually kind of fun to go back as an adult to an arcade. That man is playing Galaga. Didn't think we'd notice, but we did. He about to say Pong next. Dude, you act like those games like were released during my generation, Sheep. They were not. They were not. I just had I had like a Game Boy Advance game that had like all the old arcade games on it. For the record though, I have played Pong. I have indeed played Pong. It's actually kind of fun, ironically enough. My parents, they owned an Atari. I think they might even still have it, or they passed it on to one of my siblings. Saying my generation. How else are you supposed to refer to yourselves? Sorry, my Skibbity Ohio Riz compatriots? Or I don't know. My decade of Riz, is that how we're gonna refer to it now? Well, dude, how am I gonna not say my generation when I'm talking about a time period and what is definitively a generation? Your guys' standards, man. Me and the gang? Me and the gang? Man, someone watched a lot of Scooby-Doo growing up. The Dizzle Rot is here. Starting a new, let's make it a thing. You don't play too many games? Mostly just Marvel and Pokemon games. Solid choices. Although I feel like there hasn't been a lot of really great Marvel games recently. Pokemon too, man. They could be doing better. One of these days, I just want Nintendo to like stop being such a like walled garden kind of deal and like release their games on PC. That would be so nice. I hate that Nintendo is so good at making you buy their hardware to play their games, and then they only release on their hardware. Drives me insane. I mean, it's obviously like a working business model, you know? Man, it just drives me a little bit crazy. Can't we all just release games on everything, everywhere, all at once? Got him. Rivals was pretty fun, but you can't play that too much because you get too intense. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. I take games like that kind of seriously sometimes. Like, I got pretty into Overwatch for a while. And I would get to the point where I was playing comp games and like yelling at my teammates because they were idiots, and that's just it's fun for a little bit, but eventually you just start to get really fed up with it. PlayStation is better than Nintendo? Dude, honestly, I think I would probably agree with that. Not in the past as much, but I do think like lately it feels that way. I feel like Nintendo has abused their like Nintendo fan base for a little bit too long, and they've given them maybe a little bit too little. Oh, he had another special after that. Oh, you suck. Go fix it. Got him. Carolina on Power Shield is so stupid. Oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet her like special attacks absolutely nuke. To be fair though, there's a lot of champions that are stupid on Power Shield. Mr. Sinister is really stupid on Power Shield too, I think. MCOC low-key the only game you really play. I wish I could say that. I'm still too addicted to video games, man. Bro, why? Cyclops on Power Shield is giving you some... Yeah, dude, Cyclops, even without Power Shield, does that, though, man. Dude is a stud when it comes to hitting that big special attack damage. Power Shield is one of the more fun things in the game, I think. Dang, so close, Blackpool. A ramped SS. All right, so dude, you guys, the SS. Yeah, I don't know who SS is. Anytime I can't get my brain away from reading SS as like the precursor to like a ship name. Spider-Man Supreme, Sorcerer Supreme. You know, like who knows which Symbiote Supreme. You know, there's a few SS champions. Silver Samurai, there we go. If you guys could use full champion names, that would be really nice. Just for future reference. Yeah, there's just a lot. So I was like, I don't know what we're talking about. And then I like Silver Samurai is so new, I forgot he was even a champion. Like, people also will type SW, and I know you guys are most likely talking about Spider-Woman, but guys, Scarlet Witch, come on. Sigil Witch, like, there's just, please clarify. Well over 500k crits with 50 prowess. Still have 3 more specials to throw, but no one lived that long. I wish we could have... Dude, 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross has this, which is, like, not the same style of game to MCOC at all. But one thing they do have in that game that I really like is if you want to experiment with a new champion and see how much damage that champion can get up to, you can go into a fight against kind of like a training dummy with infinite health, and you can do any sort of like combination of their abilities or like experiment with like gear in that game to see like what your damage and stuff can be. It would be cool if MCOC could have a game mode where you can set like custom parameters. So like say I want to practice fight this certain node or experience this certain node for myself, I would be able to load into this and just fight like an adaptoid or like a symbioid or whatever you want to put in there. And they'd have infinite health, or you could even change that if you wanted to. I think that would be really cool. And you could just test champion rotations and stuff like that. I think that would be a cool addition to the game. And by adding nodes into it and stuff, like, you could practice like for certain matchups or, you know, certain things like that. They should add that to the game. I think that would be really cool. You could go in and like ramp champions. Like, you can't really do certain champion testing things against Winter Soldier anymore. Like, you just kind of have to get bigger health pools. It would just be kind of a fun thing, I feel like, to be able to customize something like that. You've always thought the content creator members getting an exclusive beta map to practice against meta defenders was super unfair, but nobody seems to talk about it. I didn't know they had like a map. I knew they could like pick and choose if they wanted to like kind of teleport to Ares to fight Ares. They can basically do that. I definitely do think that it is kind of unfair. I agree. I don't think I've ever mentioned that on stream before, but it is a little bit El Cheapo to like be able to just practice a certain fight repeatedly that we would have to go through an entire epoch of pain to get to. I think there's like a certain degree of like dishonesty that comes with it too, because like some people can just be really good at a fight in the content creator program, but we don't know how much they've practiced that fight in the background, you know? It feels a little bit insane to me, but AA is Archangel and ability accuracy, true. Like, I think it's weird that you can't practice against the champion unless it's a champion that you own. That's really bizarre to me, and I think not a good choice. Another thing with, like, how the content creator beta stuff works, like, as far as that's concerned, it makes the barrier to entry to creating content for this game, I think, a little bit higher than it needs to be. I think a game like this, you need as many content creators in the space as you can get. And I think by having something like that, it might be, like, a little bit unfair to like some of the smaller content creators. Like, would I like to go take Groot into an Ares fight? Could I do that? Yeah. Would it be annoying? Yeah. But if I was a content creator, I could just go do it for funsies and make content on it. Like, it's a little bit OP. But hey, you know, they've worked hard to grow their channel and get there, so they, I think, deserve some sort of privilege. But I do think it would be nice for, like, your regular player base to have at least some way to test champions. Yeah, lay back down there, Chavez. She tried to sweep the leg and it was too much for her. I love those. Oh, boy. $28-6, huh? In the fourth. Yeah, not looking too hot, chat. I think the Dolphins are smoked. On the subject of abbreviations, though, one of my favorite things is going on Reddit. People will talk only in abbreviations. Then there's always the inevitable comment below, and they're like, who is that again? And I'm like, dude, yes, I sympathize with that. When you're pushing Champ 5 with an unlimited practice mode, it feels cheap. I don't know that they can practice against the Battlegrounds nodes, though. Maybe those champions specifically, they may be having trouble when they match up against, sure. I do think it's like, it may be a little bit of an unfair advantage. As far as that's concerned, it doesn't feel too crazy. My biggest, like, beef with it is just that it enables them to make a lot of content that your normal content creator would have a harder time making. And I think that makes the game harder to make content for, unless you are part of the Kabam content creator program. What I think would be the best, though, about having content creator privilege, like practicing and stuff, I think that's cool, and making content that you wouldn't normally want to make outside of it. I think I just want to experience some of the new champs at rank 4, dude, because, like, heaven knows I'm not going to get so many of these champions for so long. It'd be really cool to be able to test every champion, because there's, like, so many champions I feel like I can't give advice on, and people come in here asking for it all the time, and I'm just like, sorry, I don't have that champion, and I can't really give you my honest opinion. If I just play a 4-star, I would need to play a 7-star to really, really hammer down and get a feel for the champion. And I just can't, like, give advice. I feel like a lot of times that happens. Like with Shathra, for instance. We finally got Shathra, which, by the way, in a little bit, I think we're going to go test Shathra. I think that's how we'll probably... what we'll probably do towards the end of stream today. I have a couple crystals to open as well, guys. So stick around for that. But, like, there's so many people asking me if I think she's worth ranking up, and I just genuinely couldn't say yes. I could only say, like, yeah, I know a lot of people in my chat that really like this champion, but I myself don't have her, so I don't want to put my word behind something that I only got her because of me. Yes, thank you, Samir. You know, I don't want to put my word behind something that could potentially change somebody's account for a long time if I can't be, like, you know, fully confident in it. Yeah, you also did curse me with Falcon, though. So it's like, it's kind of a dual-edged sword there, Samir. Like, couldn't you have guessed Shathra and Spider-Ham? Couldn't we have manifested that instead? Man, applying a slow would have been really cool there, Mr. Void. And then apparently not parrying is fine, whatever. Dude, really? There's the slow. Beautiful. Also, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, if you go ahead and drop a like, and then if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure you're subscribed. You get what you're given. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should be a lot more thankful. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll get him today, and that would be like the perfect. Oh, that would be such a perfect pull. Oh my gosh, getting Spider Ham. It's the dream. We need a Spider Ham counter. I want to know how many times I've said his name. Too much. I apologize for always droning on about wanting Spider Ham. It's just become such a meme at this point. Dude, it's so nice having a relic on every champ. Statcasts are such a blessing. I'm so thankful for them, man. Nick, I hope you and I both get the champions that we've been chasing, man. On the bright side, right? If you're chasing a 6-star, there's like pretty good avenues out there to get a champion you're chasing. If you really want the champion enough, you can get an Abyss Nexus crystal in the Radiant store. I think it's an Abyss Nexus. It might just be a class Nexus. It's one of those two, but you can still get like a class Nexus in the Radiant store, which is freaking awesome. I can't do that for a 7-star. I just have to get really lucky. You just want a silk dupe? You can have one of mine if you want, Widow. I'll donate it to you free of charge. Now, that being said, even if you get an Abyss Nexus, you're not guaranteed to get the champion that you want, unfortunately. Like, Authentic Square, I don't know if he's still here, but he's been chasing Dr. Doom for a while as well. You've opened 7 features, and you've got MODOK 3 times? That's brutal, dude. I mean, her being in the feature definitely narrows it a lot, though. I think that gives you a lot of help for it. You'll pay me in dill pickles? Done. I will take it. You got to make sure that the dill pickles are crunchy dill pickles, though. If they're like mushy, I don't want them. Tim does not have a Dr. Doom, no. His old account that he lost does have Doom, but he doesn't know how to get back into it, unfortunately. Yeah, honestly, the featured is pretty good. I might crack one of those open myself. Electra is, like, not the move, though. That would kind of be a bummer, Amma. Dude, it would fundamentally break the game, but trading would be so awesome. I feel like there's so many champions that are just riding the bench that I have that plenty of other people would want. And then they have, like, the same situation going on in their account. Do, 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 do. Nah, Widow's in his rage bait mode, Samir. Ooh, you know what would be really cool if they showed us some of those buffs that they're gonna give Falcon tomorrow. They won't, but that would be nice. She genuinely is? Wait, you're not rage baiting? Dude, no, I guarantee, like, if I pulled the chat right now, you might be one of the only people that say that Kate Bishop is overrated. I don't think that is correct. Like, she's very, very strong. I mean, you're definitely welcome to your opinion, though. Everyone's opinion is definitely, you know, a thing. Certainly welcome. You have a couple of really great characters for Necropolis, and you want Kate to finish out the team. Yeah, Kate is really good in Necropolis. It can be a little tricky to keep her arrows active, but once you get it down... Nah, screw his opinion. I don't know, what do you guys... Do you want me to... Should I do a poll? Here, let's do a poll. That can be fun. Guys, if you're lurking, please vote on this. We need to settle this debate right now. Okay? This is very important. Is Kate Bishop overrated? Yes, I'm Team Widow. Or no, I'm a normal person. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is gonna be spicy. All right, go vote, guys. The poll is live. Is Kate Bishop overrated? Yo, what's up, Kate? How you doing, man? Welcome in. I wish we could have seen what could have been if Kate Bishop was a 7-star. Would she have been a victim of the balancing? Dude, that special 2 on reversal does actually a lot of damage. She would have been nerfed? Probably. Or maybe not. I don't know, because we didn't have a lot. Did we have rank 4s in the game at that time? Maybe. Dude, you got a spider ham? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't, if you have Spider Woman, I wouldn't rank him up. If not, though, I think he is definitely a solid candidate. It's 50-50. Yeah, we're in a dead split. I mean, I haven't voted. I don't think I can, though, as the poll conductor. I'm actually surprised that it is a deadlock right now. I thought it would be, like, quite the obvious move. Genuinely, I'm shocked. That's because we have too many people lurking, I think. There's a lot of people watching on their TVs. So the number of voters is kind of low as well. Your Spider-Woman is awakened in rank 3. I probably wouldn't Unless you really like Spider-Ham, I wouldn't invest in him right away then. Widow is out here making alts. Dude, that could be true. To a pick? I am so not shocked. It's kind of what you expect from the guy. Anytime he needs to be clutch, he's the anti-clutch. Yeah, do that. Do that, Nick. I don't think she's overrated. And I think, like, you have to think about the fact that we're even having this conversation and she's only a 6-star should tell you all that you need to know. Like, I literally, I don't even think it would be a question if she was a 7-star. I think we would all just be singing her praises. The game would have exploded. She would have gotten nerfed. The anti-clutch is a terrible description, especially more so when it's true. Are you like, it's a terrible, like, moniker to go by? Is that what you're saying? Because he is. Like, there are very few times where Tua has been able to, like, have the ice in the veins. And trust me, man, I watched the Dolphins games a lot. I've seen the same game script play out over and over again, where he could go down the field and win the game, or he needs to score to keep it close, and then he throws like the worst interception you've ever seen. Now, I don't know how bad it was this time, but still. Dude has a knack for game-ending interceptions. 7-star Kitty or 7-star Nimrod? I would like both of those champions. I personally like Nimrod more. I think Kitty is probably a little bit more overpowered, though. Holy crap, Spidey, cutting it close, man. 15 points. Yeah, you can always count on it to a fourth quarter pick. And then you can also count on the post-game sassy comment about it. Although, I'd like to think with all the negative press conferences he's had lately, maybe he'll tone it down this time. Overthrew a deep ball, surprisingly. Receiver got mossed, of course. Tua can't throw a deep ball. I'm going to be honest. There are like Tua defenders that think that he can, but he can't. If you ever watched any deep bombs he threw to Tyreek always has to come back towards Tua for it. He can never catch it in stride because he just can't throw it far enough. But everyone's like, oh, he's the passing leader that one year, and he's actually good. No. Maybe he just had an insane offense with Tyreek Hill. And he would get so far in front of the defender, he would have room to catch it. Even if he did have to come back for it. Alright, though. It's my GOAT, bro. I'm just kidding. It's not. I could be a better quarterback. You trust Joe Milton to throw a 2-yard slant more than Tua throwing a deep ball? I don't trust Tua to throw any sort of slant either. The offense is just give it to Achane and hope he does something. Hope he can slip a few tackles and take it down the field. Whoa, WAP coming in with the overrated allegations. Holy crap. We even got WAP out of retirement. Based. Oh my gosh. Rip. Come on, WAP. I like the war going on. It's basically dead even. I mean, the no's have it right now, but it's still close. I'm going to keep this poll open for a long time, and we'll see. Grind is giving you a headache. WAP, you need to take a break, man. You're going way too crazy with it. Do it for your sanity. That reminds me, though, I do need to go do the bounty fights this week sometime. You'd go even crazier if you lost. Dude, you're gonna win. It's okay. If you lost because of a break, I don't think it would be because of a break. I would think it would be because there's people out there that just aren't sleeping. Like, I think at this point, I feel like you have it so locked up. Like, I genuinely don't know who could even touch your score right now. We're both untouchable. I wonder when they're going to start adding Disney characters into this game. Because technically, Marvel, you know, Disney, same. Maybe we could get like Elsa in MCOC at one point. This game should try to do collabs. That's one thing. I don't know, like maybe Marvel is too protective with that IP to do it. But it would be cool to see this game collab with other Netmarble games. I don't know if they would ever do that, but that would be super sick to see, man. That would be so cool to have champions from other like franchises. I think it would be huge for this game too. If you could pull in like some more fan bases. That's what collabs are so good at. That's why like there's so many people that play Fortnite. There's like a lot of different fandoms that are represented. And you could make an argument the game is called Marvel Contest of Champions, which I agree. But dude, it would be so cool. There's so many cool IPs that Netmarble owns or like has access to in the mobile gaming sphere that you could bring in. Or like if you did just want to keep it in-house with like a Disney IP of some kind, you could add like some cool villain characters here and there. Why not? Spice it up. Kabam, you're looking for more ways to make money. You know? WAP is grinding the bounty thing, Spidey. Goofy in the battle realm. Yeah, dude! Yeah, bring it in. Elsa, she could apply cold snap. It would be so cool, dude. WAP, I would be afraid of people that are just botting that can run the event 24/7. Wong, Captain Britain, and Serpent. You've considered Odin, Gladiator, Cyclops, and Onslaught as well. Well, as someone who hasn't done Necropolis, take my words with a grain of salt, but Wong can do almost every single fight in Necropolis. If that's what you're talking about, I'm assuming, since you put Wong in there. Unless you're talking about your regular questing team, in which case, very solid all around. Oh my gosh, I always dex that way too early. To be fair, though, it's kind of hard to dex when your screen is at like 2 FPS. Man, Chi-Elf, by the way, is another great Necropolis champion, Nick, if that is what you're talking about. Chi-Elf can do a lot of those fights. And she's pretty built for, like, long-term content. Hey, I gotta use Shathra. Let's go. I won't be able to play her optimally because we're just in arena, but still. Alright, what does the heavy do? Nothing really? Okay. I know it does at some point. You did 60% on the Titania with Gladiator just because you were bored? Dude, that's actually really good. That Titania can be quite tricky. Definitely gets trickier as the game goes on, though. Whoa, I have no idea what I did, but he started melting there. Shathra looks so creepy. So creepy. Dude, Killmonger, my favorite 7-star. You have also thought about Kushala being on the team? Dude, there needs to be new Necropolis like guides. We have so many new champions. I do wonder what like the dominant team is nowadays. It's kind of like the marathon content back in the day. You would need like Doctor Doom, Nick Fury, Human Torch, and they were like the Horsemen, right? But that guard has definitely changed out since then. All right, welcome to the team, Mr. Frankencastle. Now we get your profile picture, you beautiful, beautiful man. Or thing, whatever you are. Man thing. I do think his design is really awesome. They kind of crushed it. Yeah, he has crappy synergies. That's a bummer. He did MSD did one a few months ago? Oh, okay. Never mind then. Never mind. Although, was it like an MSD skill level tier list, or was it like normal guy doing content tier list, right? MSD might put some champions a lot higher that nobody else could play. I'd be a little bit curious to see what his list ended up being. Man, I gotta go farm some revives, I think, since I have some energy expiring soon. Okay, let's see what we got. I think I have a 7-star basic, and then what else did I have? I thought I had Had something else open as well. Bum. Doo-doo-doo. What was it? Definitely not a Titan. Oh, it was just a stat cast. That's right. And then I have a basic. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Cool. Well, let's go crack the stat cast open and then let's see what basic 7-star. Type your guesses in the chat, by the way. Who you think we're going to get from our 7-star crystal today? If you get it correct, you're cool. Also, you get a nice crisp high five, just all to yourself. If you remember correctly, Onslaught, Sentry, and Beta Ray Bill were the main 3 he spoke. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't expect Beta Ray there. He must hard counter a couple of the fights then. Surprised he didn't put Kate Bishop on there. I feel like she'd still be really good. Dang! Another Karnak relic? I'll take it. I'm getting ham. Sheep. I like the optimism. Get your guesses in, guys. I'll go grab a drink real quick. In the meantime, you guys can type your guesses in the chat, okay? Ugh. You know what I should have done? I should have dressed up as Spider-Ham for Halloween. Oh. Alright, here we go. Omega Sentinel, Spider-Ham, and that's it. Right? That's the only guesses we have so far. Alright. Come on, man. I think we're gonna get the thing. Actually, scratch that. We're gonna get Omega Red. God willing, though. Spider-Ham. Come on, man. Come on. Punisher 2099. That's new. Is Guardian in the basic now? Okay, nobody guessed Punisher 2099. I'm actually not mad at that, though. He's actually a pretty good champion. Actually pretty good. I am not upset. And we got a really good relic, too, on top of that. That's another tech. Not too shabby, chat. Not too shabby. Pretty good defender, actually. A sneaky good defender at that. Kind of need collar tech for him to be good. Yeah. Nah, yeah, I don't know. He has a lot of block penetration. That's like probably what I would value him more for anyway. Like as a defender. Does he have cool synergies though? No, no. First use of nanotech battery is immediately recharged. Thor gets a Fury buff from him, kind of. Also useless. Begin the fight with 25% additional battery charge. Nothing too great there. Punisher, but he's a Nazi, is a crazy character. Is that what he is? Is that like lore accurate? Jake Gallows, proud member of the Public Eye Police Force, had his life stolen from him one fateful day in 2099. Left for dead with his family murdered in cold blood, Jake discovered that if he wanted retribution, he'd have to handle it himself. His ruthless approach and top-tier training eventually caught the eye of Hydra, and Jake was placed in charge of the Ministry of Punishment, where his punishments have only grown more severe and frequent. Dang, I mean, Hydra, not necessarily Nazi, but that's kind of what Hydra is. That's where they came from. He does look pretty sick, though. I like the guns on the front, on his chest. Kind of makes a skull. I'm just going to put... I don't even know if he can crit. Can he crit? I don't see anything about it. I will just give him crit rate, I guess. And then block penetration for defense. If I ever actually put him on defense, which I may. If we ever get a tech meta, he will probably be really good as far as Battlegrounds is concerned. Ooh, I need to give him a stat cast as well. I probably have something that I can give this guy. Surely I have. Man, now I have to look. I guarantee you I probably have a relic equipped to like a 5-star or like a low 6-star. That I can take off for him. Let's take the relic off of my 6-star Red Skull. Because I want to have a relic on all my 7-stars. That's who I use in Arena. And then for, like, EQ as well. He has good design. Holy relics. Thank you. Yeah, you want to see them all? There you go. We have quite the haul, but there's so many people that they have a bigger collection than me. Especially StatCast. I didn't invest too heavily when we were able to buy the crystals when they first rolled out. I do have quite a bit, though. Man, this is crazy. Double crit. That's such a good relic. Unfortunately, I don't really have anyone I can really put it on at the 7-star rarity. I mean, I guess I can put it on Bullseye. That would be good on Bullseye, right? Because the predominant booster is crit damage, and he always crits. But also, welcome in, Marvel Champions. Hope you're having a good one, man. I think I'm more proud of, like, my actual roster than I am my stat cast or my relics or whatever. Just give that to Mole Man for fun, why not? I think my roster's pretty good. Here, we'll just show the 7-stars. I'm actually impressed with what I've been able to do as, like, basically free-to-play outside of the Plat Pass. There's a lot of really good champions I've been able to snag. Okay, that being said, does anybody know the best relic for Shathra? And then can they tell it to me in the chat? I'd like to take her into... I mean, I don't think she'll really shine in Realm of Legends, but I can kind of get a feel for her playstyle. 5 stars is your favorites? Yeah, they're a lot easier to get too, which is nice, and rank up as well at the moment. Scarlet Witch? Okay. Rank 1 Spiral. Yeah, sorry, man. Spiral doesn't really jive with me too much, man. See, Scarlet Witch Relic, you say? I'm just gonna trust you, Samael. You're the only one who said anything. Is there a specific rune I need to use? As far as like Blessing of Rejuvenation or Amplification? Why don't I do Necropolis? Dude, I just don't feel like I have enough time for it, man. I would want to do a Necropolis stream all in one go. But I can't fit that into my current stream schedule. I would need to do that on like a Saturday or something. I want to do it eventually though. Okay, let's just take Shathra in. Normally, she's unduped. I don't know how much that's going to matter. Wait, I think I do. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that big a deal. Staff focus. I'm just gonna do crit damage for now. I don't really know. We'll take her in solo YOLO. See what's up. I definitely do want to do Necropolis though at some point. Like, to really answer your question. I just need to be able to find the time and like fit it into a schedule. Like, that would probably be a Saturday. A Saturday stream. Special damage? Okay. I do have the team for it, though. I've got Chiilth and I've got Wong, and those were, like, the champions I was chasing the most. 7-star Serpent, kind of overpowered. Yeah, he was pretty busted. Really good champion. One of the best in the game, no doubt. Alright, so what's, like, the basic rotation for this, this person? I don't know how to describe this bug lady. Oh, she has persistent charges, but I don't think I would use that, right? No. Have I ever done Necropolis with 3 stars? I have not, no. But congrats on pulling that off, man. Two special ones, heavy charge into special 2. Okay, so does the heavy need to make contact before I launch the special 2? Or do I just have to hold it and then I spam special 2, kind of like Gambit? Okay, Samir is staying special 1 and then charge heavy, throw special 2 while you're holding heavy. But Samael is telling me 2 special 1s and then heavy charge into special 2. We definitely know we heavy charge into special 2 at least. Thank you for the data and the intel. Okay, you just charge and throw. I'll give it a rip. Dude, I like her animations, though. That last medium attack looks really cool. Okay, we'll go for 2 special ones here, then. Okay, there's the heavy charge. That's it, right? Is that it? Is that like what I'm supposed to do? Do I special 2 now, or do I go back to the rotation I was doing before? And yes, I am playing on a controller, Marvel. I am indeed. Hold heavy longer? Okay, so I want to hold it like as long as I can. Okay. I thought it was just like I needed to hold it like for a split second. I got you. 0.9 bars of power to steal their power. Oh, wait, okay. And then I would assume I don't want to throw a special 3, though. I just got too much power there. Okay. Okay, so I need to throw that like before I trigger the special 3. Is that what I'm seeing? And then, oh my gosh, that gives you so much power, dude. Okay, I kind of see how it works, I think. You get so much power gain. That's wild, dude. Okay, I think I'm finally understanding a little bit. And then what are my persistent charges doing anything for me abilities wise other than being able to make like a kind of spider horseman person? Okay, she gains attack rating, it looks like. That's cool. Now you're getting it. Yeah, it just took me a little bit. Can she make herself the totem thing? Is she a Spider-Verse hero? I don't know. Probably better to just get the attack boost, though. You can just charge heavy without stun. But what if he attacked me, though? I guess she's unblockable, though. Aw, I wanted to see if I could get it while she was being passive. Okay, that time I had special 3 and then it went bye-bye. What was that about? Can she, like, lose power like some other champions? Dude, this is kind of like playing Wong, honestly. It is a carbon copy for like how Wong works. Oh, I didn't have enough power, big sad. Because Wong you want to hold heavy as well until you get to a special 2. And then the special 2 is unblockable for Wong. Oh, special 3 can only be thrown during a heavy charge. Okay, so if I get to a special 3, I need to let it go. Got you. Yeah, this is very much... It's like Wong with this, like... You use special ones to build up. And then you play the exact same way to get damage. Which, I like Wong. I like his playstyle, so I think I can probably get used to Shathra. Oh, the designer also compared Shathra to Wong, huh? It makes sense. I mean, that, like, degeneration stuff is, like, pretty good damage, I would say. I mean, she's obviously made for, like, buff-heavy matchups, you know, with, like, atrophy and stuff. But still. Man, that gets really close timing there, man. It's weird. It feels like the power steal kind of ramps up. Like, it feels slow at first when you're charging the heavy, and then it just, like, explodes out of nowhere. I tell you what, atrophy is really a beautiful thing for this fight, though. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So they can't, like, punish you with a special attack. Interesting. Interesting. I think with some more practice we can get her down, though. I kind of like that. I think that's fun. I think I probably prefer Wong a little more than Shathra, but this is only rank 1. I bet the numbers, like, you can probably really melt champions with her at, like, rank 4 or even rank 3, I'm sure. I think I like her a lot, actually. I would be interested in learning how to play her. I wish I had some, like, story content that I could use her, like, for exploration and stuff. She definitely does take some time to learn, but I can definitely see the utility she would have. Atrophy is really powerful in and of itself, especially if you have any nodes where you can't, like, neutralize or nullify, stuff like that. I don't know that there's really that many nodes that stop atrophy, if any. So that, in and of itself, is very helpful. And then, yeah, she ramps much faster against opponents with buffs, which we're not getting in Realm of Legends, but... Sorry, I'm just reading her kit, see if there's any other, like, bonus things that I missed. When the attacker... Oh, I didn't know this. As a defender, when the attacker taps block, they swat away wasps, removing 12. If no wasps are active, eggs are removed. That's kind of a cool mechanic. I actually just never knew that was the thing for Shathra. That's funny. Okay, there is a ramping mechanic. I wasn't, like, imagining things. It says this ability builds up over 0.6 seconds. So it is kind of like a ramp power steal. That's why it felt kind of crazy. She's also a high prestige champion? Oh, that's cool, actually. I do need more of those. I do need more of those. Potency of Mystic Dispersion is reduced by 50%, but each rank increases the percentage of stolen power she gains by 15% flat, up to 500%. Dude, she seems insane with Mystic Dispersion, dude. You can probably get to a full bar Like, you can seriously steal some power, man. That's crazy. She can nullify if you do light, 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 light. That's actually pretty helpful, too. It's not hard to get wasps on your opponent. Yeah, she seems like a really cool champion. Ooh, and she has a regen, which is really nice, too. Which you don't see a regen, and 10% of missing health isn't like the biggest. But with how easy it is to get to special 3, when you're power stealing, I think that is pretty strong. Pretty cool champion, honestly. I never really had been able to like give her a fair shot or like test her out at all. I'm really glad I was able to pull her. She needs high mystic dispersion. Yeah, that seems like she really benefits from it. I mean, I was like getting pretty good results. I felt like I had more power than I knew what to do with at some times. And I only have, I think, like 1 mystic dispersion point. Yeah, I only have 1. She's kind of going crazy a little bit. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks, guys, for teaching me about the Shathrinator. I wish I could take her out for a spin and some more stuff right now. I just don't have a lot of resources going around to, like, make rank ups. That's why, like, the comment I made a while ago, I wish it was easier to rank champs up in this game, because I think it's fun when you encourage testing out different champions that maybe aren't considered meta. You know what I mean? I mean, Shathra is a really meta champion. This is a completely different conversation. I just wish I could, like, rank her up and see what those numbers are at, like, the rank 4 rarity. Stuff like that. At least 3 points in MD. I think 1 is okay for me. There's a lot of champions I like to use that tend to gain a little too much power. Rintra is a good example. He's one of my favorite champions, and if you have Mystic Dispersion too high, don't... You just get... His power gain is too insane. Or wait, yeah. I actually don't know if Neutralize affects Mystic Dispersion. Never mind. I take it back. But still, I also just don't have a lot of champions that would benefit that much from it in the first place. It'd be good on Kushala. Man, I wish I had more rank up materials. There's so many champions I want to rank up, you guys. So many freaking champs I want to rank up. Ugh, it's infuriating. I wish this game gave you more rank up mats. I really do. I think it would only be a good thing. You would really level out people's rosters. Like, your advantage would come from just having champs no one else has, which is already how it is. And it would kind of level the playing field for people that have rosters full of rank 4s when they fight somebody who only has, like, 5. Know what I mean? So there's a lot of champs I'd like to level up for science. I want to look at... Kushala is great with Mystic Dispersion. She is good with Mystic Dispersion, actually. She's very good. What was I about to do? Could someone remind me? I had a plan. Oh, you know what, actually? I want to show you guys Yondu real quick. That's what we'll do. The Yon Diddly Dooster. Hold on. We'll just do no synergies, I guess. And this is Yondu at... What rank is he? This is Yondu at rank 4. So it's not like the best one-to-one comparison to my alt account. But dude, like, he actually is like a pretty good champion. Ew, not Yondu. Hater. They hate us because they ain't us. Nah, the damage gets really, like, surprisingly good. Just be patient. It looks underwhelming right now. But once you start getting these Furies from Yondu's special 2, man, it's kind of wild. Like, I can definitely... Like, he's not maxed, he's not ascended. And I can definitely see why he is not a 7-star yet, because I think he would scale, like, kind of insane. Like, the ruptures start almost doing 1,000. Which is kind of crazy. Because you can get like 4 or 5 at any given time. I didn't even full ramp on Yondu. Usually he can cap out at 8 Furies. You can get there easier with a synergy that makes them last longer. But dude, like, that's pretty dang good. Like, that's a minute 14 Realm of Legend Winter Soldier. That is not bad at all. He's not even max. He's not ascended. He's a 6-star champion. That's pretty dang good, you guys. Like, that rupture damage is very good. And then, like, when he crits on the special 2, oh, it feels good. So you can just imagine if this guy was a 7-star, when you get him ramped up, his ruptures probably hitting for like 2k each. You could definitely see how the damage can get out of hand. Appsman better. To each their own. I am, Houday. I am using a controller. I'm playing on the PC client. He'll take my word for it. Still not ranking him. I mean, if you're a 7... If you're, like, playing champs at the 7-star rarity, I wouldn't rank him up. But if you're, like, starting out, I think he's definitely a really good champ. And you get to listen to his whistle all the time. What's not to like about that? You don't understand why they don't just release a 7-star? Hey, me neither. I think it's just as stupid as you guys do. Why are you spending the time and resources on a champion to change their kit or fix it or whatever, and then not releasing it as a 7-star? That's kind of weird, don't you think? Like, what was the point of what you just did? Why did you put man hours or like manpower into this? Houday, I don't think it would work on your mobile. As far as I know, and this could have changed, I'm pretty sure it hasn't though. There's no current, like, controller support for the mobile game. I think it's only if you're playing it on PC with their PC client. So you would probably need to go through that. I think if you're on your phone, you're still kind of locked into touch controls. Unfortunately. Yeah, I agree. I think he should be a 7-star. I'm hoping Banquet, maybe. That would be cool. I hate Juggernaut, by the way. The old Juggernaut, where he just, like, can throw a special and go unstoppable. One of my least favorite things, man. All my homies hate it. You think his Fury should last longer? Yeah, I think it would be nice. They do kind of last a while. And the longer the fight goes on, though, the less it matters. Because for every special your opponent throws, that's, like, going to add to the Furies that you gain when you throw the special too. So, like, theoretically, if I wanted to play this the best way I could, I'm not, because Juggernaut will go unstoppable every special, which is annoying. I would just keep baiting special 1. And then that's why I said he just gets stronger when the fight goes on. Once he's thrown 8 special 1s, then you get 8 Furies on your special 2. So you just max out. Yo, Garvey, how you doing, man? Been a minute. You only play with voice controls. What a power move, Wolverine. Yeah, dude. Yondu is like very good. Like, I think if he came out as a 7-star, he'd be very strong, I think. Just with the ruptures alone, honestly. Their damage really just gets up there. You're debating over buying the group box? I wouldn't blame you. It's probably like the best, if you're ever going to buy a Deathless piece, it might be the best value you can ever get for it. Legitimately. I still think, like, personally, it's a little bit of a scam. But I do think if you are going to purchase it, it's kind of the way to go. There is this synergy, by the way, on the Fury topic that makes his Furies, like, 20% longer. It's kind of nice. 36-second Winter Soldier with Tigra? That's pretty quick. I just wonder if maybe this is like their last hurrah in trying to like get money from people for Deathless pieces before maybe they make them easier to get. That's my hope, at least. That actually gives me an idea though, guys. I want to test something. There's like so many synergies out there that would make buffs last longer, you know? We could probably just give him, like, the Nick Fury. And then... where are you? Captain Marvel movie. And then... Black Bolt has a synergy with... who is it? Ronin? Oh, no, that's only for Cosmic Champs. Never mind. This one's not, though. Right? If Nick is alive, all Fury buffs have 20% increased duration. Yeah. So that one would probably affect it. There's another one that's not Black Bolt related that makes buffs last longer. Why can't I remember what it is? Yeah, 5,000 units is steep. The good thing about the like little like box thing is technically you could get it for cheaper if you just get lucky. Give him the War Machine pre-fight? Wait, for real? Are we just trying to make Yondu as like stacked as we can? Where is my War Machine? I have the hardest time finding champions in the sea of champions. Oh, Garvey could spend 5k units and still definitely make Banquet, by the way. He is just as loaded as I am. He actually has more units than me. Okay, which one is the one that buffs Furies? Where are you? Okay, Rocket Raccoon, which is insane. It's a 50% Fury boost. They need to work for oh, it doesn't count for passives. That's big sad. Never mind then. At least we have the Rocket Raccoon synergy, right? True, true. Dude, imagine if he had a synergy that made his Fury not passive though. Garvey, how's the grind been treating you, man? I've been playing on my alt a lot lately, so my main has been really suffering in the unit gain department. Yeah, that was so quick. Yeah, it was a minute. That's like really insane, by the way. That's a rank 4, dude. He's not even ascended. You have 90 maxed out 4 stars, dude? That's crazy. That's so many. It doesn't feel like Yondu should be able to do that fight that quickly, man. That's why he's not a 7-star, I'm telling you guys. Yeah, Captain Britain is gross on defense, man. Especially with all the skill attackers out there right now. Dude, I've used my rank 1 Atuma, and he's actually put in some serious work, too. I mean, come on, guys. That was like 13% off of a single special, too. Homie is just casually slam dunking on Realm of Legends, man. Not that that's too hard in 2025, but it's still really good. I think I'll probably make 25k prestige, at least, which is kind of good. I'm a big fan of that, at least. Now that we're Cav, we can get the incursions selector from the event. Yeah, if we have enough people finish it. There's no shot that's happening, though. And we don't have that much longer to do it. We'd have to get 15, dude. I don't even think we have 15 people in our alliance. You took Mojo? I took Hulkbuster. Mojo was like my second choice, though. 5 days we can do it. No way. It's not gonna... It's not possible. I don't think we're strong enough, man. Yeah, 30 seconds. Sub 30 with Venom. Still the king for me. Yondu would be far, like, he'd be so close though if he was a 7-star. That makes me really want Yondu at a 7-star rarity, man. I'm kind of a little bit bummer out that they teased us like that. They gave us that awesome buff and then they were like, psych. You'd have to contribute the point, and then you guys, it wouldn't work because you've already achieved that milestone. The way that, like, most Alliance quests work is there's, like, the blackout period between when you join an Alliance and, like, when you can actually get rewards from that Alliance. Like, that applies to, like, Alliance War and AQ, stuff like that. Generally, with events like this, if the milestone has already been hit in that Alliance, you can't claim it once you join. It would have to have been hit while you were in the Alliance. And then you also would have had to have contributed to it as well. So I don't think that would work, unfortunately. But it would be sick, though. Would be sick. And the reason I know this, Garvit, is because one of my friends in this game got absolutely shafted. He did the clear, so you only get 1 point for your first clear, and that's it. You can't clear it multiple times to get multiple points for the incursions event. He did it in a different Alliance. That Alliance kicked him right before they got the final selector because they're idiots or they're just rude, whatever, malice or stupidity, it doesn't matter, it's ridiculous. So my buddy doesn't get the selector. He joins my Alliance. We hadn't gotten the selector yet. We hadn't gotten, like, the last 3 milestones. Eventually we did get the selector, but he can't claim it because he couldn't contribute a point to our Alliance. So he just gets shafted out of the selector because he just got kicked through no fault of his own. He couldn't do anything about it. He just couldn't get the selector, which is, like, the most rigged BS ever. It's not like he didn't do the incursion. The Alliance that kicked him is still benefiting from the point that he left in their Alliance, but he himself cannot benefit or reap the rewards for contributing to it. It's ridiculous. It's such a poorly designed system. I wish it was changed. Need a decent member with around 25k prestige in your Alliance. Let me know if I have any recommendations. Dude, they can't. He's opened multiple tickets, Garvit. There's nothing they could do. There's a little more to that, but Kabam has been nothing but just ridiculous about the whole thing. It's really annoying. I feel super bad for him. Getting the alt, nice. Might as well. I'm gonna have to start rejecting friend requests soon, you guys. Look. We don't have a lot of slots left. I mean, I have 25k prestige, almost. Just kidding. I don't know. I am thinking about maybe jumping alliances just for Banquet and then going back. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to close this pull out, by the way. It turns out Kate Bishop, she's not overrated. So yeah, it's just like a series of unfortunate events, man. And he even, like, cleared it again in this alliance just in case, so that he could tell support, like, look, I've actually done it again. But they just didn't really want to help him. Switched and couldn't get the points due to the same explanation. Yeah, dude, it's so dumb. And I think, like, that would be the perfect situation for Kabam to build some sort of good rapport with the consumer. Like, to me, that just feels like such an insane thing, right? I feel like it would be such an easy fix, like, just give him the selector or let him get the point again. It doesn't seem fair that he got kicked from an alliance. That alliance gets to benefit from the point that he contributed to them. Yeah, I'm talking about Tim right now, Samir. He doesn't get to benefit from that point, but the alliance does? It's ridiculous, man. Come on. And then on top of that too, just to see if it would work, he joined that alliance back because they let him back in after they were made aware of his situation. and he couldn't claim it because the game registered that as like jumping ship from different alliances. So it's just the system, I guess, isn't smart enough to remember that he had already contributed to this event before he was then kicked, like forcefully removed from the alliance. It's just such a I'm beat to heck for him, man. I like feel so bad about it. And like you're talking about, that would be horrible with the StatCast events and stuff too. Those were good rewards that you missed out on. Like, and the selector is a really strong item to get, man. You don't get incursion crystals very often at all in this game. There we go. The friend list continuously filling up. Medusa, Viv Vision, Tigra, and Silk. Dude, very sweet top 4. I like that. Very nice. Prestige akin to my own as well. It's actually crazy. I wonder how many friends I've gotten just from streaming. Pretty much everybody, honestly. I think I only had like a few before. But hey, enjoy it while I can. Once the stream starts popping off, there's not going to be a lot of room to go around for different friends, you know? You guys will have a claim to fame. Tigra, it's beautiful. Yeah, let's go see. Is she max sig, actually? She might be max sig. Oh, close. 140. That is a really nice account, though. Medusa, rank 4. That would actually be a fun rank 4. I probably would have done that if I didn't have Venom. I wonder who my next rank 4 will be. Maybe it's about time I bite the high evolutionary bullet and rank him up for prestige. I could do the same thing for Onslaught. I don't know. One of the two, probably. Oh. Anyway, guys, I think that's gonna wrap the stream up tonight. It's a really good one. We got some new people in here. Welcome in, by the way, if you are new. If you're lurking or in the chat, thank you for being here. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our streams. We stream every single day. We will not be live tomorrow on the account that I have family stuff going on for Halloween. If any of that changes, I'll let you know, but don't plan on me being live tomorrow. And then we won't be live Saturday or Sunday either, but we will be right back at it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. And we will hit the streaming like we always do every single day. And we'll be playing MCOC. We will probably be playing a little bit more of our alt account as well, so that should be really exciting. Other than that, I don't think there's anything too crazy to say. So thank you guys that were able to stop by. I hope to see you guys next week. Again, make sure to subscribe, please. I need and tell your friends and alliance mates to subscribe too if they're looking for a good streamer to watch for MCOC. I am so close to 500, dude. I can sniff it. Okay. Please help me hit my goal, please. Anyway, thank you for being here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling on. It's like a no you hang up situation. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Have a good rest of your day, whatever it is for you, whatever time zone you're in. Give yourself a crisp high five. Thank you so much for being so awesome and being a part of the stream, and I'll see you guys in the next one.